right, well, I'm waiting for you guys to join me. I'm just going to cut up some Yupo paper. I've got a big stack of Yupo here, and this is the regular white Yupo, not the vellum Yupo. Oh, wow, you guys are jumping on there quick. Say hi. And I thought I was the only one being up late. It's like almost 10 o'clock here, and you guys are up. Oh, come on, get in there. Hi, Anne. Oh, somebody gave me a thumbs up already. Sweet. I haven't even done anything yet. Let's do. Hi, Sandy. So if any of you guys are new to YouTube Live, there's a little button down at the bottom that says live chat or top chat. That's what I'm responding to. Someone commented the other day that I was like jumping around all over the place. But what I was doing was actually responding to questions and comments. So I will try to read the questions and comments. Hi, Dee. Long time no see. It's been like, what, 20 minutes? But I will try to respond to questions and comments so that you guys know that I'm not just talking to myself. Anne, where are you? Like Australia? See, I have to stop watching Christopher's YouTubes because I'm gonna go broke. Like every time he comes on, I'm like, oh, I gotta have it, and I click right order and I order it. Netherlands, okay. I lived a little bit in Europe when I was a kid. My dad was in the military, so I've been to Germany. Hi, Donna. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Wow, there's a lot of you on here tonight. It must be the title. You guys are excited. All right, so those of you that are just joining us, I just cut up some Yupo paper. This was the big stack that I have. I picked this up at my local art store. It's Blick Art Store. That's where I got mine. So just so you guys know, before you start asking, I ordered this originally from Tupelo Designs, which is normally where I get a lot of my supplies, and only because they have free shipping in the United States. So I don't mind waiting. However, they were back ordered. So on Saturday, I ordered from scrapbook.com and it came today. So I would say that's a pretty fast turnaround. They were sold out of the refill, so I'll just have to wait on that, but we're going to try it out. Any of you that have watched my video before, I previously could not wait for the alcohol inks to come out, so I made my own DIY alcohol lift ink. So what I did was I basically took some blending solution in one of the Tim Holtz blank stamp pad ink pads, and I just put blending solution in there to see how it would work. Now it did work slightly, but it didn't. It's dried out now, so we're gonna test out these two DIY blending solution distressing pad versus the actual alcohol ink lift pad and just play around with it some. I have my little collection of alcohol inks here, just to show you guys. I do have them in the little Tim Holtz tin. Oops, there we go. So this is my little collection here. I like bright, fun colors when it comes to these. I am not a messy crafter. Never mind my broken nail there. I go tomorrow to get everything fixed. But I generally don't like to get messy. I'm not like a media crafter, but I do love the fun and the freeing of alcohol inks because you can just, put it down and put some beautiful colors together and make something fun. So we're going to try this out. I do have some mixatives, but I'm not going to be using the mixatives today. So I'm going to be using some Ranger alcohol inks. And the great thing about Ranger alcohol inks is they never expire or go bad, guys. These inks, I'm not even kidding you, some of them are probably 15 years old. So they never never ever expire. Dee, we're going to find out today. I think you're right, but we're going to find out. So we have some bright colors here. I also have over here on the side some blending solution. I have my 91% rubbing alcohol, some paper towels, and then I also have a little bit of alcohol in this little mister guy. And then I have a couple of rubber stamps, so we're going to try it out. So the first test I want to do is, let's just make some real quick samples here. And we're just going to do some fun bright colors real quick. Hi, everybody that's just joining us. I just got some alcohol lifting and I have some Yupo paper cut down. So we are just going to play around. Hi, Patsy from Oklahoma. Hi, Sandy. I see some of you guys have given me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you scroll to the top of the video, you can give me a thumbs up. And all that does, besides tell me that you guys are awesome, is that it spreads this video to other crafters so they can see it. Now, I have tried to store my alcohol inks upright. I have tried to store them upside down. For the most part, I can tell you they do not leak, but they do get messy inside the lids and stuff. So it is better just to store them right side up. And I always put my lids back on. All right, so we have some bright colors going there. We're going to give that a second. In case you guys didn't know, I'm not going to show you guys today, but when it's at this in-between sticky, getting ready to dry stage, you can actually put some foil down on there and lift it, and the foil will leave like this marbled veining effect on the Yupo, which will look really pretty. So I'm just going to set that one aside and let that one dry. I'm going to do some other colors here. I think if we have some different colors, we'll be able to see some results a little better if there's some light mixed in with some dark. So I have a straw on my desk that I use to blow inks around. And my little daughter, Leah, she's only 5. She comes over and she sees the straws. And I've kind of been on this, let's try not to use straws, let's try to save the earth kind of kick. And she sees the straw and she comes over and she's like, "Oh, why do you have a straw, Mommy?" And I'm like, "Well, I reuse that straw. It's an art straw." Oh, I'm sorry. I should probably be telling you guys some of the names of the colors here in case you like them. Okay, so that one was Mermaid, which looks very similar to the color I just put down, which was Stream. Stream is a little darker than Mermaid. And then the one before that was Pistachio. And I'm going to drip some Stone Washed on there. Oh, Sandy's asking, what exactly is Yupo paper? So Yupo paper is a synthetic paper. It is normally used by artists that are big into watercoloring because it gives them some time to work with the paint without it drying. But it's a synthetic paper. It's made out of polypropylene, which is basically plastic. So think of it that way. It's a very heavy-duty plastic. So it looks like paper, it sounds like paper, but you can tell from feeling it that it is definitely plastic. It's very difficult to rip. You can cut it, but you cannot rip it. But it's plastic paper. It's synthetic paper. So what it allows the ink to do is basically move around on top and not soak right in because it's not porous. But it's not like an acetate where the ink's going to stay on top. So the ink will eventually go down into the paper. But it gives you some working time, which is why a lot of watercolor artists like to use it. I'm going to put one more color on here. I need like a lime green. I'm trying not to buy all of the alcohol inks because I know I'm not really going to use them that often. So, all right. Okay, so we have a couple of our little sample sheets here. I'm just going to slide that one over there. All right, so this is the one we just finished. Okay, it's all dry. And the first test I'm going to do, and I'm going to use this little lipstick stamp here for a couple of reasons. One, it's like one of those cheapy $1 ones, so I won't exactly mess it up. But two, it has a pretty solid area. It does have some designs in there, but so we'll see what it does. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do one side with alcohol ink, and then the other side we'll do with our DIY ink. And by the way, as soon as I open this, I smelled the ink pad. Okay. It does have a slight odor to it. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of StazOn ink. So it's not like horrible, but you can definitely tell that it almost kind of does smell like archival ink. And somebody said that they suspected that this is archival ink without pigment. I'll have to look back, but some very smart subscriber of mine was, I think, on the ball. I think this is an archival ink without any color in it. Hi, Linda from Houston. Great. She just got her Yupo paper. Okay, so we're going to start with the alcohol ink. And what we're supposed to do, I've watched a couple videos and read some of the instructions, is you're supposed to, let's make sure your stamp is clean first, which I normally do make sure my stamps are clean, but I'm just going to wipe it off on the side here. Okay. And it's a clear ink. Okay, and you can see it's nice, and can you guys see that? It's juicy. So you can see it, very much like Versamark ink. You can see it. And we're going to stamp it on this side. And then over here, I have a clean piece of regular Nina Solar White cardstock. So this is regular porous paper. Let me get in the view here so you guys can see what's going on. So one of the things you're supposed to be able to do with this lift ink is lift and transfer. Ta-da! Now you can see I didn't get a perfect placement there because I was kind of messing around. Now over here, we're supposed to leave. Can you guys see the stamped image there? You're supposed to let that ink there for a second so it can lift the alcohol. So we're going to leave that just for a second. I'm going to clean this off while we're waiting. And then we're supposed to wait for that ink to kind of do its thing and then take a paper towel, lift the excess. So we're going to blot it off. Hey, just like real lipstick. We're going to blot that. So you can see that ink has lifted, and then blot it some more. And what we're doing is taking that ink off, and then you're supposed to buff it. So you guys can see that it has lifted the top layer of that ink. So there's still a little bit of ink there. It's not completely white. You guys see that okay? There we go. Debbie, we're going to keep playing. Don't worry. You didn't miss anything yet. Okay, so I'm going to try that again, but I'm going to go a little quicker this time. So I'm going to take the alcohol lift ink, stamp it in, transfer it over to our regular piece of paper. So there you go. I'm going to get a cleaner piece of paper towel here, blot, fold this over, blot again. And now we are going to buff. So you can see it a little better there on the darker red. So this is using the alcohol lift ink on Yupo paper, which is a synthetic paper. You don't want to try this with regular cardstock or with glossy cardstock. It will not work from what I understand. I haven't tried it though. So there you can see where it lifted the ink. And then here we transferred the ink. So this is using the alcohol lift ink both times. Okay. So now we're going to try it on our DIY ink pad. Let me clean my stamp off again. And you always want to clean your stamp. You do not want to leave that stuff on there. Debbie, I agree. Yupo paper is nice, but it is expensive. So save it for really important people that you like. No, I'm just kidding. What you can do is you can, I buy this big pack, which is 10 sheets and the size is 9 by 12, and I cut it down. Okay, Linda. Your problem is with a fixative. It doesn't work. I don't know what you mean, Linda. Give me a little more information there so I can try to help you out. The mixatives? Yeah, the mixatives, it doesn't really work that well because the mixatives, I have a couple here, they have almost like a pigment in them. So I don't think it's going to work with the mixatives because they are a little bit different formulation. They're not 100% alcohol ink because they have that metallic in them. So that metallic pigment stays on the paper. So I'm sure that it doesn't lift. There's a lot of things that mixatives don't do. They're just there to kind of be pretty, but they don't do a lot of work. All right, so we're going to try. Don't worry if you're just joining us. We're going to try to, we're going to do this again in a second. Now we're going to use the Distress ink pad, and I'm just going to take a little bit of alcohol blending solution and put that in there. We don't need a lot. All right, so we're going to do the same kind of thing here. My stamp is clean. Well, it was clean. And you can see a little bit of that blending solution on there. Stamp it down, lift it up, transfer it. Yeah, it doesn't transfer so well. It dries too quick. That's the problem. That blending solution is straight up basically like alcohol, and it dried too fast, so the transfer couldn't work. And let's take our paper towel here. Yeah, same thing. It dried too fast to lift anything. So let me try putting a little more blending solution in there and see if I can be a little quicker with it. Clean my stamp off again. Hi, Anna Love Fest. You know what, Patsy? I did do that. You are ahead of the game. So I did take some glycerin, and this was when I did my first video and I was playing around with it. Yes, I did. I have some glycerin here. I did put that in there, and all the glycerin did was act like a barrier. It didn't really, it didn't help do anything. Well, if you're really quick, you can get a little bit there. You got to be fast, though. So there the lift is with the do-it-yourself pad. And you can see a little bit of a halo there. So, I don't know, girls. I don't think we're going to be able to make our own here. I'm going to do one more little smidgen of a test here. I wanted to try one more thing quick. I don't want to give up yet. Originally, when Tim Holtz came out with this idea, he used archival ink. So I'm taking this little gray archival ink pad here, stamping it onto our image. Let's find a spot I haven't contaminated yet. Let's do up here. Okay, I'm going to clean the stamp pad, let that archival sit just a second. Clean our stamp. Well, looky there. Whoever said that is archival ink without pigment was a genius. That person was a genius. Oh, I didn't try to transfer it. Let me try to transfer it. Oops. Duh, Nance. Don't tell Tim we cracked his secret. Oh boy, guys. We know the secret. That's all it is. This is clear archival ink. That's all it is. Clear archival ink. Tim Holtz is a genius. So the archival ink lifted the ink. There is virtually no difference between these two, which were the alcohol lift ink, and these two, which are the archival ink. And it did transfer it. Now here's the difference. Whatever color archival ink you're using, that's going to transfer. That's the difference. So let's do this again. We're going to use this blue one here. You know what? I'm going to make one more page over here real quick so that it can dry a second. So if you have archival ink, you can do this method. You may not be able to do the transfer as well, but you can lift the ink do some bright pinks and purples here. It does seem to show up better if you use darker alcohol ink colors. All right, so we're going to let that one set aside and dry while we play with this other one. You want to make sure that that's as dry. You don't want it wet. So you want to let that set aside. It only takes a few minutes to dry. So here's the one we just did earlier. And in case you missed my quick tip, you can actually, when it's in this in-between stage before completely dry and wet, it'll take about a minute. This starts to marble and get sticky where the ink hasn't completely dried. And you can take foil and the foil will stick to that and give you this really cool veining effect on there. But that's a video for another day. All right, so this one we made a few minutes ago. And I'm going to use a different stamp. I want to try this large flower. This is a Creative Vision Stamps hibiscus flower. I've used this in another video. And I'm going to use this. Oh, you know what? I want to save that for that one. Hold on. Hold on, please. I want to get something that's going to be like fishy looking. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going through my super large collection here. Okay. Here we go. Let's use this giant Seahorse. Giant Seahorse. This is like my favorite Seahorse stamp. This is also from Creative Vision Stamps. I love this guy. All right. So we have this like tealish background. I also have some archival ink in Paradise Teal. So we're going to do two little things here. We're going to stamp the big guy up in alcohol lift ink. Okay, so I'm trying not to get ink everywhere. Oh yeah, you definitely want to use some kind of craft mat with this because this is messy stuff and you will get it everywhere. All right, so we're going to use our big Seahorse stamp. We're going to use the alcohol lift ink. We have our alcohol panel here made out of Yupo paper and some various alcohol inks. There is a dry spot there. All right, he is nice and inky. The consistency is kind of like Versamark ink. All right, so I'm going to put him all the way on this side. Now, this is a slippery surface, so you want to stamp down. Give it a second to transfer and lift up. You do not want to do any rocking or moving because you will distort your image. We're going to give that a second to set and lift the alcohol. We're going to clean the stamp real quick. You want to clean it good. You don't want that ink sitting on there because it is an archival type of ink. It's just like stays on ink that will eventually eat away at your stamps. And I would say if you're going to do this method, use rubber stamps, not clear stamps. Okay, and I'm going to take my paper towel and we're going to dab, dab, dab. So you can see that ink is lifted onto the paper towel. We're going to keep dabbing with clean parts of the paper towel because you don't want to transfer what's been lifted. And then once you have most of that ink lifted, we're going to burnish or rub it out. How pretty. Ooh, ah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Debbie, you should have reminded me earlier. Okay, we'll transfer the little guy. I forgot to transfer, Debbie. You're right. Okay, we'll transfer the little guy. So I have his little brother stamp here. He's just a smaller version of the big guy. But we're going to do him with the archival ink in Paradise Teal and see what happens. I totally forgot about that part, Debbie. I was so excited about the reveal. Okay, so we're stamping this little guy up in regular archival Paradise Teal. We're going to move him over to this side. Stamp down. Lift straight up. I'm going to transfer this one over here to regular cardstock. So you can see the transfer. What happens with the transfer is you're going to get whatever color ink you're using. So if I use the pink archival ink, it's going to be a pink. It's overpowering that lift. So it depends on what you want to do there. If you really want it to transfer, you're going to want to use the alcohol lift ink. If you just want it to lift, you can use any archival ink, which we're going to see here in a second. So same thing. We're going to kind of want to lift some of that up. And burnish it away. We have the big brother and the little brother. Can you guys see that? Now, the alcohol lift ink is much cleaner and clearer in terms of lifting because it's a clear ink. And the other one left a color behind. So I will do one more and then we will be done with this experiment, guys. Good night, Dee. And always clean your stamps afterwards. You don't want to leave any of that residue on your stamps. All right, we're going to do one more, guys. All right, so this is a very large hibiscus stamp. Again, also a Creative Vision stamps. And that's because these guys, I love their stamps. Okay, so this doesn't look 100% dry here. Yeah, it's not. This is where that foiling technique would come in and you guys would be like, ooh, ah. Okay, you twisted my arms. Hi, Sherry. I'm going to put a little foil on this and see what it looks like. We're having fun with some alcohol ink. Ooh. All right, so all I did there, guys, was just a minute ago, I made this alcohol inked panel on Yupo paper because we are testing out the alcohol lift ink. But if you get it in that in-between stage where the ink is not completely dry and it's still pulling up and got little edges, you can put foil down and the foil will stick to it. And you can see that the foil has stuck to where those pools of ink were. So it gives it a really cool, like, marbling effect. So now we have this really pretty background with a little bit of foil stuck in there. And everybody's going to say, how'd you do that? It's so cool. All right, so now we're going to take the alcohol lift ink. And before I forget, I'm going to grab a regular piece of cardstock so we have that on the side. Oh, Patsy, I won't be here that long. Okay, so taking our alcohol lift ink, we're going to put this down. there. And I have my regular piece of cardstock here, so we're going to transfer this time. I will try not to forget. Okay, straight down, straight up, no wiggling. And now we're going to transfer a regular piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock. Not Yupo paper, not glossy paper, regular Neenah Solar White cardstock. Okay. Ta-da! That is so cool. This is really addicting, guys. It's not that it doesn't work on clear stamps, Donna. I wouldn't recommend it. You could probably use clear stamps, but this kind of ink, just like with Stays-On ink, it's an alcohol-based ink, and so it could eat away at some of the clear stamps. So you just want to make sure you do a very good job at cleaning your stamps when you're done. All right, so we did the transfer. Look how beautiful that is. It's got all the different colors of the alcohol inks. You guys can even see how there's like the pink, the purple, the fuchsia. It's so pretty. This is so cool. All right, so now we're going to take this and do our reveal. So we're just going to blot up that excess ink. And you can see it. I know you guys can't see it on camera, but it's wet, just like VersaFine ink. Versamark ink, sorry. And now we're going to rub that, burnish it. Oh, this is so cool. So now we have this alcohol ink background on Yupo paper. We have the foiling veins, and we have alcohol lift ink with our image. It's so subtle. You could just put like a little happy birthday sentiment and be done with it. Put it on some black. Let's see here. Put it like on a black piece of card. Oh, this is so cool. Look at that. All right, so the Yupo paper, you guys are just going to have to search that. It's become very cool, but I got mine at the local art store, Dick Blick Art Store, and like I said, I get the large 9x12 pack. A lot of times they have coupons that you can get them discounted as well, and I cut that down into my little sizes. Alcohol ink, you can pretty much find anywhere. You guys probably already have alcohol ink. Alcohol lift ink. I got this from scrapbook.com. They were out of the refills, but they had the ink pads. I know it's been very popular, and you guys can see why now. If you have archival ink, you will be able to do the lifting, but you won't be able to do the transferring as well. The transferring will transfer whatever color ink that you have. It will not work as well with mixatives because the mixatives are a pigment. Who was asking me? Debbie. Was Debbie asking me about the fixatives? Somebody was asking me about fixatives, mixatives. I forget what the question was there. We'll have to look into that. If your alcohol ink is a little sticky and you want to add foiling to it, you guys can go over the stamps that I used, which were the large hibiscus flower and the 2 seahorses. They're Creative Vision stamps, but Creative Vision stamps also has foil. And if you guys use code Nancy10 at Creative Vision stamps on your orders of $20 or more, you will get 10% off of your order because I'm on the design team for Creative Vision stamps. And I love this foil for a number of reasons. Number one, you get 25 feet. It's not a little 3 sheets of foil and you're done. You get 25 feet of foil. This will last you forever. The other reason I like their foil is it's a thicker quality foil. I know that's hard to see, but this foil is not all crumbly and hard to cut. It holds, when you're trying to cut it. It's not flimsy foil. So go on over to Creative Vision Stamps. Use code Nancy10. Any orders $20 or more before shipping and tax, you'll get 10% off, except on custom stamps. But I have almost every color of it. She has like the whole rainbow of foil. So there we go. But anyway, we were playing with the alcohol lifting today. So I hope that was a good demonstration for you guys on what you can do with it. You will just have to check out scrapbook.com. There are some other stores online I'm sure that you guys could get that from. But as you can see, you can lift and transfer your ink beautifully. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, post them down below. I will be happy to answer them for you. Have a good night, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Bye.